Now, being a car guy, I'm going to master a manual transmission. The first car is going to be a Miata. But I want to actually learn, how does a manual transmission work? Because while you're driving, if you could visually imagine what the transmission is doing, whatever situation, you can manipulate it however you want it to. Today, we're going to be reacting to Donut manual transmission, how it works. Go ahead and like, subscribe to Donut. I'm Car Guy Nas. If you guys are new to the channel and like content like this, consider subscribing and liking this video. Liking this video helps to push it out towards more people like you. Let's get straight into it.
We're talking about manual transmission. You probably know the basic idea. The transmission changes the gear ratio to make sure you're getting the optimum power from your engine to the wheels.
In the automatic transmission, the ECU adjusts based on throttle condition. The ECU is doing all of this. But in the manual transmission, you're kicking in that clutch and you're putting it in the right gear.
When two gears are in mesh, an almost lossless transfer of power occurs. In this case, a force is applied to the gear on the left, which is in turn moving the gear on the right. For every revolution the left gear completes, the right gear completes one in the opposite direction and with equal force. Pretty straightforward. Yeah. What makes gears truly useful, though, is when they aren't the same size. Let's shrink that driving gear down by half. Now, it has to complete 2 rotations to move the right gear once. Well, that sucks. But wait a second. The total amount of energy required to move the second gear 1 revolution hasn't changed. But now the driving gear delivers the same amount of energy over twice as many revolutions.
Gears, just like gears in the bike.
As many revolutions, meaning it requires half the amount of force at any given moment. It's like climbing stairs. Make the steps smaller and each step's easier.
Well, that's a good way to explain it.
Steps easier, but you gotta take twice as many. We've all ridden bikes, so you know what it does, but how does it work? A standard manual transmission is made up of an engine shaft, or input shaft, and that's the side that comes from the engine. A drive shaft, or output shaft, that's the side that goes to the drive wheels. And here, underneath both of those, is the counter shaft. And on these shafts are the gears.
How familiar are you with the gear wars exactly?
All of this has to do with getting the right amount of torque to the wheel. If you like learning about torque, check out our science garage on torque and horsepower. If you want to know about toque and hose powder, ask a Canadian.
Bon vivant bouillabaisse, coule des sacs, laissez faire chicken cordon bleu.
Now let's get back to the gears.
Okay, it was about 754 years ago.
If I turn the input shaft, the gear on that turns this counter shaft. And that turns all of the gears on the output shaft. But all these gears are moving at different speeds. When the gears aren't engaged, they spin freely from the output shaft because they're not anchored to it. Only one gear at a time is spinning the output shaft. And that's because of what is anchored to the output shaft, these hubs. Around these hubs are sleeves. These sleeves slide over the teeth on the gear and anchor them to the hub to drive the...
A lot of information being thrown at us, but you're visually seeing it. So as long as you see, we see.
Them to the hub to drive the output shaft. But wait, there's more. Look at those tiny little teeth. Matching up those tiny teeth at the edge of our gear with the sleeves' tiny teeth, well, that's almost impossible. So between them are these synchronizers. We cut the power to the counter shaft, let the wheels drive the output shaft for a change, and when we push the synchronizer ring, it gets squeezed against our gear and locks it to the hub, so it's anchored to the output shaft. That's why when you're shifting, you get that Now, the wheels in the drive shaft and the counter shaft are all spinning in mesh. Voila! We've shifted gears. Some manual 5-speed transmissions may have minor differences here or there. This is pretty standard for the most part. The big gear here, which is enmeshed with the smallest gear in the counter shaft, is first gear. First gear is always going to be the largest gear in the transmission, producing more torque for the back wheels. It's taking a lot of fast turning force and making one big, slow turning force. The slightly smaller gear next to that second. Then goes third, and the smallest one's fourth. On most 4- and 5-speed transmissions, fourth gear is what's called direct drive, or a 1-to-1 gear ratio, meaning the input and output are turning at the same rate of speed.
That means if it was a 4-speed, any star response you get, That is 1-for-1. You finna be like, like that's at what fourth gear probably feel like very stuttery responsive.
Big old gear here in the front. And first, this particular transmission's got a gear ratio of 3.83 to 1. So I can turn the input 1, 2, 3 in exactly 0.8 times, and you can see the output has turned once. That's torque, baby! Pop it in a second, and the gear ratio on this guy's 2.062 to 1. Third gear's 1.4 to 1. You know the drill. 1 and 0.4 turns at one time.
You're gonna let me say, you know, like he's not teaching how it works.
2.062 to 1. Third gear's 1.4 to 1. You know the drill. 1 and 0.4 turns at one time. And then, as we mentioned earlier, fourth, 1 to 1. They're turned at the same speed. That's gear ratios. Guys, we did it! Now, a lot of you are probably saying, what about fifth gear? We're getting there. Fifth gear is kind of hidden in the back here, and we call it overdrive, which gets mucho better fuel economy. And at this point, you're getting powered from the forward momentum of your vehicle and don't need as much power going to your engine or your wheels. Some 6 and 7 speed cars can have double overdrive for even better fuel economy at those high speeds. Oh, reverse is over here. Boop, boop, boop. It hits this gear and makes your drive shaft spin the same direction as your counter shaft. Now here's the rub. The drive shaft's attached to the wheels, remember? When we shift gears, the wheels are gonna wanna spin the counter shaft at a different speed than the engine's trying to spin it. We have to take that power off somewhere or it'll make a grinding sound like when your brother's robot hamster won't stop body shaming you, so you throw it in the blender with all the bad forks and spoons and press puree to teach it a lesson. So where do we let all that spinning energy go? The clutch! The clutch looks like this. The clutch has a disc with a high friction material on both sides. The engine is actually driving the flywheel, and the input shaft to the transmission is mounted to the disc. When the disc is pressed firmly against the flywheel, it catches and can drive the shaft. In the case of this clutch, it's squeezed by these springs and attached to a pressure disc and anchored by this pressure plate, which gets bolted to the flywheel. Most clutches use 3 springs, but in performance clutches, you can have more, and that makes the connection between the disc and the flywheel even stronger.
I don't want to spoil myself with a nice ass manual transmission.
And more effective in high torque application, like racing. And this is where things get a little tricky. A diaphragm spring is connected to the pressure disc under the pressure plate. When you hit the clutch, it pushes the center of that diaphragm spring, and that pulls up on the springs, which lifts the friction plate off the flywheel. Awesome! Now we've disengaged the power from the shaft. But when you let off the clutch pedal and re-engage the friction disc, you're gonna bang! Pop right into action, and we don't want that. We want to ease into the movement. So, attached to the friction plate, there's these other plates with coil springs in them. These springs are attached to a hub, and that plate is the one that anchors the shaft, and that goes to the transmission. Those springs absorb the jolt of re-engaging the friction plate to take a little stress off the other parts of your drivetrain. You want to try to get on and off your clutch pretty quickly, or you might burn it out. That happens when the flywheel and the friction plate rub together too much.
That's basically meaning when you ride in the clutch. That's the good thing about watching these videos. A lot of people, when they learn to drive a manual transmission, a lot of them, they ride the clutch because it helps them not stall. They think it's helping them not stall, but it's really just adding a lot more pressure on your clutch than it needs to be. But when you ride the clutch, let's see what he just said.
You want to try to get on and off your clutch pretty quickly, or you might burn it out. That happens when the flywheel and the friction plate rub together too much. It happens, usually waiting on a hill to get into a Dodgers game. So what is double clutch?
Granny shifting, not double clutching like you should.
Well, it's not really 2 clutches. Double clutch is clutching twice. Once when you shift into neutral to hit the gas and match the engine revs to the gear you want to go into. Then you hit the clutch a second time to shift into that gear.
That's how a manual transmission works. Now, let's see what would be some of the best starter manual transmissions to start on. For beginners looking to get familiar with manual transmissions, the ideal transmission should have a forgiving clutch and a smooth, predictable shift pattern. Here are some great options for starter manual transmission vehicles that are known for ease of use and reliability. Mazda MX Miata. See, and that's what I was saying, bruh. Why? The MX-5 Miata has a lightweight clutch and a smooth shifting transmission that makes it a popular choice for beginners. The shifter feel is short and precise, and the car's lightweight makes it easier to manage while learning. Benefits: low power, easy to control, forgiving clutch, excellent shifter feel. And that is exactly what I need. Let's see. In my last video, we went car shopping. In my last car video, we went car shopping for Miata. Let's go back on Carfax and let's see what the Miata is looking like around here now. That's not bad, man. That's a 2023. Who does this guy think he is? This would be my car. What? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I like that a lot, man. And even if I can't get this, I know at least what something to like. I know a platform. I know something what I. Okay. What? I like that. I like that a lot. How much they asking? 16 bands too. That's not bad. I wonder if they got the sticker on it. They probably don't. Alright, let's ask ChatGTP about this used, this 2010 Miata. Let's ask ChatGTP about this car. What about a 2010 Mazda Miata Grand Touring? The 2010 Mazda Miata MX-5 Grand Touring is an excellent choice for a beginner learning manual transmissions. It is known for its lightweight, sporty handling, and forgiving transmission, making it a fun yet manageable car to learn on. Here are some reasons why it is a particularly good starter manual. Smooth and precise shifting. The Miata's 5-speed or 6-speed manual transmission has short, crisp throws and a very precise shifter feel. This makes it easy for new drivers to learn the pattern and feel confident shifting without excessive effort. Okay, so it's like it's gonna be like 1-for-1. Is smooth and forgiving clutch. The Miata has a light and predictable clutch which is gentle on beginners. It engages smoothly and isn't overly stiff, making it easier to learn clutch timing and reduce the chance of stalling. Balanced power. The 2010 Miata Grand Touring has around 167 horsepower, which is enough for a sporty feel without being overwhelming. Let's see how much horsepower my car right now got. Then my baby right there, man. I get 20 horse. I get 25 horsepower per cylinder. Like when I tell y'all that literally just made a street legal go-kart. Oh man, bro. Oh man, bro. That small, reliable engine. That small, reliable ass engine. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it to death. Oh man. Inline 4. I do get good gas mileage. I get a fucking amazing gas mileage. And it has a smaller gas tank. I put $10 gas. That's already half a tank. Top speed 121. Toyota Corolla VI 1.6i performance. 0 to 60 is 10 seconds. Wow. Yeah, that's not heavy at all. 22 pounds. Yeah. 14s. Yup. Whoa, okay. Independent McPherson coil spring and anti-roll bar. Multi-link coil spring, anti-roll bar. I get independent front suspension. Every car got fucking independent. I have a 13.2 gallon. Damn, I'm actually learning everything about my car right now. That's crazy. Well, I have I think I have 5-speed. I have automatic. That's my thing right there. That's my thing. So yeah, this has 67 more horsepower, which is enough for a sporty feel without being overwhelming. This balance of power helps new drivers control acceleration smoothly while still enjoying the experience of shifting through the gears. Lightweight and nimble handling. While around 2,500 pounds, the Miata is known for its nimble, responsive handling, which can boost confidence. This lightweight build allows it to be more forgiving if mistakes happen, as it's easier to control and stop. Great driver feedback. Convertible fun, things to keep in mind. Practice releasing the clutch slowly. Focus on mastering the clutch release, as that's key to smooth takeoffs. Warm up with flat surface. While you build your confidence, practice in open areas to master the clutch and shifter feel before hitting busier streets. Take your time with hill starts. Once comfortable, practice in a safe area with a small incline, as the Miata lightness will help you get used to balancing the clutch and gas. The 2010 Miata is considered one of the most beginner-friendly manuals in its class, so it's a solid pick for learning, providing enjoyment, and building skill at the same time. Okay, man, I can see that. I can see that. I already like that. For sure. There's another one right here, too. I like that one, too. It's actually cheaper. There's a little bit more miles. But if I could get, like, a 2017 for like a band, for like a little bit, you know what I'm saying, for not that more, I would definitely do this. I gotta see one. I gotta do new. Always do new to old. You could probably get. Don't let yourself miss out on the good deal, because the newer ones, they always like, you get a fucking 2020 for 17,000, and then they had like a 2010 for 16,000. You know what I'm saying? This shit probably got a turbo on it too. And one thing, yeah, it may be newer. The thing is still a fucking 2 liter. At the end of the day, how fast can a 2 liter be? At the end of the day, it's still a 2 liter. How fast can a 2 liter be? I like that a lot. That's 23 bands. If I'm paying 23 bands, I might as well give me something else. Nope, 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 nope. Hell, man. Yep. So YouTube, that's probably gonna be the ending of this video. We learned how a manual transmission works. We learned one of the best starter cars for a manual transmission. If you want to learn how to drive a manual transmission, the car I'm most likely gonna get. If you guys like this type of content, make sure to subscribe and like this video. It's gonna be weekly content, not daily on this channel, but I'm gonna try to get it out. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.